underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Welcome to Beyond.
Beyond.
What's up, everybody?
Here we
Welcome to
go.
episode 124 of Podcast Beyond.
The big 124.
Yeah. Now, just as a real quick thing here, if you try to listen to the show on Thursdays, the last episode was a little delayed because last week was our IGN for Haiti event. We did live on Wednesday, and a lot of people watched that thing. And then the podcast went up. What was it? Friday. Something
Yes,
like
it was
that.
Friday
Anyway, it's
night.
up there. In case you didn't see it and kind of gave up on looking for it, it's up there now. Let's go back and listen to 123. It'll sound a little weird because we were on video then, but you'll get the idea. Anyway, we're at here 124. I'm Chris Roper. Greg Miller, what's happening?
Nothing.
Ryan Clements.
Hey, buddy.
Sam Bishop.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. And Colin Moriarty.
Yo.
Full house up in here today.
Yeah.
Let's get the show started with the Roper Report.
Time for some
You stole my limelight, man. I was so ready to do the thing.
Before I start reading
Stepping on
news,
toes.
Greg, are you all right?
I'm in the pit.
You're in the pit.
I'm glad we brought it up.
Why-
I'm just tired. I'm worn out. I want to play Heavy Rain, but I keep having to do work and do other things that get in the way of Heavy Rain.
I
Effing
see.
work.
Stupid work.
Yeah, Greg has been a little bit in the pit all the morning, and I feel really bad for him.
I'm just-
because I want to make him
fuck.
feel better,
I
but
didn't have a good trophy hunt last night. That's
Yeah, me
never
neither.
helpful. Yeah, that's me and Colin were talking about that. That sucked part of that
Guys,
energy
in your
from us.
trophy competition.
Gotta keep it real.
I want an in on
I
that.
don't want to go to the week. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, let's get to some news. Maybe this will make you feel better.
All right, let's do it.
Announced this morning was the game's been announced for a while, but this morning, a little bit of details came out for Fallout New Vegas. There's the first teaser trailer, which doesn't really show a whole lot.
It looks
but,
awesome.
But Colin likes it a lot.
Dude, it's so cool. That city's alive. It's got lights.
No, I know. That's gonna be kind of cool. Actually, that is a good point.
It's like a
The
city. It
does
looks
have-
totally intact.
It looks like it is power. That is a very good point. That is coming out fall 2010. Last night, also Sonic 4, which was Project Needle Mouse, was officially unveiled. I didn't see any actual video for this thing
They
aside from
had
like a
about
teaser thing.
4
But
seconds of actual video.
okay, so
It's super short.
I missed
People
the
don't
actual
have
game part, but it's a new 2D Sonic 4. It's continuing on from the old ones.
oh wait,
2D,
really?
Yeah.
2D gameplay
thank God.
with
Sequel to
3D visuals, but 2D gameplay. It's coming out this summer on all major systems, including the PS3. So
Great.
look for that one.
So you would prefer the Werehog as opposed to this?
No, I would
Come
prefer
on,
any
man.
new Sonic games personally.
Well, I'm just saying.
Sam Claiborne and I were talking about that this morning about how the Sonic Genesis games are like so overrated.
They were fun.
Yeah, they were a lot
They're
of fun, dude.
platforming games that don't let you platform. You know what I mean? They're not effective
They have
platform
platform
games.
sections, but
They're,
they also
they're
have the
games
speed
that let you
sections.
speed through, but when you try to slow the game down to its essence and play the game and look around and try to jump
game's
around
essence
something.
man, the essence
no.
is speed.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
dumb. The essence is dumb.
I'm with you on this one, Colin.
Yeah.
They were. I don't know.
I'm not saying that they were phenomenal games. I'm just saying they were a lot of fun. They had platforming in them, but they also had speed sections.
I mean, I appreciate what they were trying to do, but like when you look at the contemporaries, especially Super Mario World, that game craps all over Sonic. You know, so it's,
yeah, because you're comparing its contemporary. Like you're looking at a game now. Is that? Oh, are you talking
No,
about
Super Mario.
I thought you,
Yeah,
I thought you were
the
just
bundle in the quintessential
Gotcha,
title for
gotcha.
Super Nintendo was 100 times better than the quintessential title for Genesis.
I see what you're talking about.
That's all.
I thought when you said contemporary, for some reason I heard modern. I don't know why.
It's okay.
Yeah. Moving on to the
Completely
news,
opposite.
THQ had a financial statement yesterday. They basically
To quote.
said that Darksiders 2 is on the way, Saints Row 3 is on the way, and that at E3 will be the premiere of the next Red Faction game.
Yay.
So that's good news for those people. I'm kind of excited about this one, even though we'll have the game before then. But God of War 3 is coming out on March 16th.
Yay!
Final release date. That's the day before my birthday, which is a nice one.
Aw.
But yeah,
present.
and if you like God of War. You may want to go to 7-Eleven and check out the God of War Slurpees. Now, here's the thing: so the cool bit is it comes with a code, and you can go online and put it in. You can get stuff, behind-the-scenes stuff or whatever. One of them says it's for a costume, but it sounds like you would probably earn that by beating the game anyway. But maybe not. You have to finish the game in order to be able to use the costume. Anyway, I don't know what the deal with that
It's
is.
a universal code anyway. So
Yeah, now here's the
they're
thing
online.
is, online it looks like there's a special cup that's branded for it, but Craig Harris of Nintendo fame went to 7-Eleven, I guess this morning or yesterday or whatever, and they didn't actually have Kratos cups.
Lame.
It was just a regular Slurpee cup with a code on it.
No,
So-
they have those,
Okay.
and then they also have the ones that they showed in the blog.
Okay.
The one out in the sunset where I live.
Don't
Yeah.
lie to us.
So
Well, that's very good.
right
then.
there.
Why didn't you bring it in then if it's so real?
It's
the first thing you said all podcast.
Priscilla was dancing this morning, but I don't have him here to show you, so I can't prove it.
Yeah.
You get out of my face.
Jesus.
In a bit of sad news, Sony Liverpool has laid off some of its staff. Rumors are up to half of it, and some of the projects they were working on have been halted. I don't think there's any word on exactly what projects they were. I imagine they're all unannounced. But that is bad.
What games did they put out before?
I mean, they did Wipeout.
Pretty much all the Psygnosis
Okay,
stuff.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Roll Cage. If effing Colony Wars was canceled, I'm going to be very, very, very angry.
What game is
there
that?
will be words. Colony Wars?
That's an old game, isn't it?
God, yes.
Ryan's 12 years old, so he doesn't know those things.
I don't know what it is
It was
either.
a space exploration game on the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
There were a couple
okay.
of them. There's that one, and then there was Red Sun, I think. Or, yeah.
Gotcha.
Colony Wars, Wipeout, Roll Cage, and G Police were the big ones that they put out.
I
In
think
the
I
PlayStation
remember
era.
G Police.
I hope so.
Actually.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
The
was
G
awesome.
Police, they come to me in my
So if
head.
they were reviving either one of those, and they've been, there had been rumors about it since the PS2 days, I am going to be extremely upset because it would have been awesome.
Yep.
I've heard that before.
The last piece of news that I'll mention this week
They keep
is that
deleting it system to system, but it was going to be great. Now it'll be even better.
Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker was delayed in Japan from March 18th back to April 29th. But apparently
further and
it's still
further
coming out
down.
here on time in May, so everything's fine. They just wanted more time for tuning. Tuning is, obviously different than translation and stuff like that, which is why it gets moved. So if they're just tuning gameplay elements, then seems like it should be
all the
fine
text-
for us.
all
Huh?
the text
This
and
was
voices.
one of my predictions, right? That it would get delayed in America. Would I make this an official prediction?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I thought it
because
did.
we did discuss that it was delayed in Japan before.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how your
Still
your thing
rolling
holds
the
up.
dice on this one. Got
Yeah,
it.
still rolling the dice. That is all the news I got this week. Now, for me, like I said, the kind of cool thing is God of War 3 on March 16th solidifies the March release date, right? But we still have a month and a half before that game comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to play a game this week, and I'm saying, hey, I'll definitely buy God of War when that comes out, but I have some money to spend right now, and I want to buy some games in the meantime. How would I possibly know what I could purchase for my PlayStation systems?
You wouldn't. The list is worthless this week. This is the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all three platforms by the IGN editors. I like that. I like it. We're down in the range. PS3 gets Star Ocean and White Knight Chronicles, and PS2 and PSP get a big old plate of nothing.
I thought, does Star Ocean come out next week or this week?
According to GameStop, it's right now. You can get it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So your
I thought it was
review
next
was
week.
late.
This is the port of the 360 one?
Yes, but it's the international version.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Maybe I'll pick that up.
How's that going for you, Ryan? You started playing that.
Yes. Well, it's really good so
Okay.
far.
Okay.
I thought it was coming out. I thought it was coming out.
Oh, no,
Late.
I
GameStop
can't wait till you get to some of the cutscenes later on.
Oh, okay. Are they a little long?
Yeah, they're pretty terrible, okay?
Yeah. Ryan, what do we got coming to PlayStation Network today?
We have. Let's see. Why are you laughing at me? Don't laugh.
You'll see.
Did-
I'm
are
not laughing at you. I'm
play-
laughing at the
Did you play the PS3 version, by
No,
the way?
360.
Okay, because you know
Sony
that
hasn't sent it over yet. I don't
you
know
know
what's
how
going
the
on.
PS3 version has a Japanese language track, right? Which already seems to make all the characters way more
That would
interesting.
be very good.
Yeah.
I
Just-
will have
just
to play
throwing
that
out
one. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that.
Anyway,
explain why you're
Fret
having a good time.
Nice PS3, which Damon has been playing. I guess it's a platformer you use a guitar controller with.
Word.
Yeah. Didn't seem very happy with that one.
Oh, word.
Core episode 21.
Oh, word.
We have the White Knight Chronicles downloadable content in the form of the White Knight Chronicles International Edition makeover ticket.
Word.
In other words, you pay $5 just to remake the physical appearance of your created character.
Can't you do that in the
Avatar.
middle of the game, though?
No.
No, you
I
have
thought
to
I
pay.
could have sworn I.
You have an option, but to do that, you have to have the ticket. It
Yes.
actually looks
Oh,
on your hard
okay.
drive for the thing, and it says,
have to-
there's nothing downloaded.
That's-
Sorry, you didn't pay $5 to add new hair.
We'll talk about this later. I have a question about your
All right,
character in White
sure.
Knight Chronicles.
All right, we'll come back to that. So, Alien vs. Predator multiplayer demo, I believe, MP demo, assuming that's multiplayer. Battlefield Bad Company 2 demo, which I believe a lot of people in the office like the Bad Company games, right?
Sure.
Don't we like? Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Armored Core Silent Line for PSP. Afterburner Black Falcon for
Afterburner.
PSP. Also Dynamic Themes, White Knight Chronicles. Meh. Also Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek.
Cool.
Dynamic Themes, which seems interesting.
What Battlestar?
And
Me too.
that's it for the PlayStation Store for today.
I'm on the last disc of the last season.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just about to
Battlestar.
finish it up.
Cool.
Everybody dies.
Looks like GameStop. GameStop has amended this to say that it does ship next week.
Okay.
The
So
8th.
next time you crap all over what I'm telling you.
So that
think
means
twice.
that the only there aren't many contenders, and the
There's
only
White Knight
retailers.
Chronicles.
is White Knight Chronicles.
Oh no!
So
no, that's not pick
do
of the
we?
week.
Do
It's
we
White
have
Knight
a-
Chronicles versus Core.
What about Armor Core Silent Line, which came out a long time ago?
Yeah, it's a little.
All right, so no
Not
pick
so
of the
good.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
pick
I
of
would
the
say
week.
no. Just play it. But
Go
there's-
buy Burnout Paradise.
there's a
I was going to say, there's a bunch of stuff on sale right now.
I like how
so-
for the past 2 years you've been promoting Burnout
oh
Paradise.
hell yeah, dude! Burnout Paradise.
I know.
Go
I'm
for
not
it.
saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's funny. That's your default answer.
If
for,
you don't have Burnout and it's a slow week,
You know I
need to go
don't
buy
have
Burnout.
it.
Well, I don't know.
Then you need to go buy it.
Well,
I've been
I have
the
30
reason
other
I keep
games I
saying
need
it is
to
because
play.
you haven't purchased it
They
yet.
patched Bayonetta. Get Bayonetta.
It
What are you
is
gonna say to
so-
that, Clements?
It
I
is
haven't
so much
tried it
better
yet.
now.
Is it really?
Good lord, it is so much better.
Yeah.
It's still the 360 version is still the best one, but the install changes everything about what was wrong.
Really?
With all the hangs.
Load
and stuff.
times especially?
Yeah, you hit select now. It actually brings up the menu like that.
How's the frame rate?
It's not really any better to me.
No frame
I
rate
didn't
patch.
see anything. They it looks like they dropped some of the anti-aliasing and they changed the contrast ratios a little bit, so it's not quite as dark or
Okay.
washed out. It looks a little bit different, but I didn't notice a whole lot of difference in the frame rate.
frame rate.
So
That's too
stuff
bad.
that's still bad is still bad, unfortunately.
But the load times were one of the killers.
The
so-
load times are ridiculously improved.
That's
like,
great.
Yeah, if you pick up an item now, it's not 6 seconds to pull up the actual little view of it, and then it's
Yeah.
not another 10 seconds to actually read something. If it's like
Okay.
really quick.
Beautiful.
Cool.
So yeah, they
That's
I'll
really
finally
good.
play it now.
They definitely improved it. I can't believe I had
It's
to go through the
terrible
whole
that
thing.
you would not play it just because it
Dude,
was
I read your review. It sounded awful.
It seriously, it was
No,
like
no,
the-
no,
not
I'm talking
worth playing
about. I'm talking
before.
about why wouldn't you just play on the 360 though?
I don't play games on 360 unless it's for work.
LOL.
Damn straight.
La 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 la.
Now getting on to so I guess pick of the week is nothing.
Nothing. Don't do
No,
it.
pick
It's
of, the
Burnout
week,
Paradise.
pick of the week is old stuff that's on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Valkyrie Chronicles is just $20 right now, I think.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
And Mirror's Edge, I
What
think,
a
is
steal.
$10 if it's still on sale.
Ah!
Yeah, so there's two games right there.
Look
You
at
get
that.
half the
Wait,
cost.
Two
where
of my
are you
favorite
buying
games.
Mirror's Edge for $10?
I can't remember. It's on one of those deal sites. I can't remember which one it is.
Wasn't feeling Mirror's
I
Edge.
think it's on. I think it's Amazon. that's
Love the way it
actually
looks,
on
though.
sale
Missing
right
out. So good.
Now in terms of trophy tips,
Just the tip.
Well, you
I
guys
don't-
were on the
I
ball.
don't know if we
with
have
that
anything
one.
here, but we do want to bring up the Trophy Horror War.
The great IGN Trophy
Trophy
Horror
Horror War.
War.
Which I was
is
not
in
included
full
in.
swing. Yes, and with good reason.
Why?
You get to sit at home and work on the TotalPlayStation.com and play PlayStation games all day long.
Yeah, you would have had an
You
unfair
have a
advantage.
completely unfair advantage.
I have like 3 different jobs. That's
yeah,
only one
but
of them.
somehow all you do is play PlayStation games for all these jobs.
Somehow I have a lot of stuff to review, but
Exactly.
I'm not that far ahead of you guys.
I know. I've been gaining on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, so
steadily.
there, that just disproves your whole thing.
But
I obviously have
you've
not been
always
sitting
been
home.
ahead of me. No, you can't. You couldn't be included. There's no safeguard on you. No one knows what you're doing.
There's only a limited number of games that will come out, like starting this year, right?
Yeah.
There's been 4, I think. There's Bayonetta, Darksiders.
You find ways around these things, Sam.
Dark Void.
What's that?
I've seen
Dark
you.
Void.
Dark Void, which I can't even play because I worked on the
Yeah,
I
White
did the
Knight
pre-val
Chronicles.
for that. So
why can't you play it?
I did a mock review for. I can play it, but I can't.
I
review-
mock reviewed
I
this
can't,
game,
I
I
can't
can't
review
play
it, which
it.
means that the copy that I was going
Oh,
to
I
get is
see what
going to
you're
my
saying.
staff.
I see what
So, yeah. Plus, I already did all the achievements for it. So, although they're on
Did you
partner.
platinum
No, I got really close. I think it was like 800 and something out of 1,000. So,
Do you stay
that's on
platinum
PartnerNet, so
even when
that'll
you're
never
done with
appear in my
achievements?
profile.
It's out
Just
of
like all
respect.
the other achievements that I have. I have like my gamer score is like 4. So yeah,
It's hard to get 4.
yes, it is. There are very few games that give out just one.
You have to
Yeah.
get one achievement.
But I did them.
and
All
it's a
4 of them.
4-pointer.
Now, do you guys want to do the update to the
Yeah, everybody
competition?
knows what's happening. There are 6 of us in the office right now doing the great IGN Trophy Horror War, where we have, in all of the month of February, we are tabulating the trophies we get with a point system we created
BS game.
that are then going to have a winner. See who got the most. Who's the biggest trophy whore in the office? And it's been going. A lot of people are getting crazy right now, Roper. I'll tell you right now. A lot of people. Colin, obviously everybody knew coming in, Colin would be the most serious about this because this is what Colin does. I've always been very proud that I have held Colin back. Colin has never superseded me in the trophy level count. I've always been very happy with that. I can tell you that is going down. That will not be much longer. I'm soon going to drop off the face of the map when it comes to Colin because Colin's a machine. Colin has given
Colin
up on
is a
everything
machine.
to do this.
Yeah, all right, so this is basically the way it's gone. Because I live with my girlfriend. A few weeks before this happened, I was like, listen, in February, we're not really going to have much of a relationship because when I get home from work, I have to, I'm going to make some dinner, I'm going to eat and go about my business. And then at like 7:30, I'm going to jump on, probably play every night for about 4 hours. So, but it actually works out pretty well because it does her thing during the day. She's in grad school or whatever. So when she's doing her homework and stuff like that. So it's actually working out pretty well. So it's actually been pretty amicable. Plus we, as everyone knows now, we have 2 TVs, so she can watch she can watch whatever she watches, Home and Garden Network, and I can watch, or play my games or whatever. So far, things have been pretty successful. According to my tabulation, I have 56 bronzes, 22 silvers, 4 golds, and a platinum.
And this
month.
is
In today's Tuesday.
this is the 4th. This is in 3 nights of playing.
Right.
Me, Colin, Gage, and Jack all signed on at 12:01 February 1st to start playing.
I played 12:01. I played
Detuned, that's what I
and
did.
Linger in Shadows.
I took down Detuned. I did some Zuma. I downloaded a whole bunch of PSN games just to go.
I downloaded them on that Sunday and had them all installed and ready to go.
As soon as I could.
I spent like $50. And then,
Good Lord.
And then, so things are going pretty well. I made really good progress that night, and then I played Where the Wild Things Are, which is not a bad game. I have to be honest with you, not a bad game. For kids or whatever, I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad at all. Yeah. And, it's average. It's like not a game I would play, for any other reason but trophies.
It just amazes me that I had to sludge through that review. It was killing me, the Where the Wild Things Are review. And then he platinums it in like a day.
Yeah,
it blew my mind. And that platinum isn't necessarily you beat the game, you get the platinum. You have to collect mad amounts of random crap in order to get the platinum for that.
Yeah, there's probably about 400 or 500 collectibles in the game.
Yeah, and you have to basically get them all.
You have to get them all. And there's a great a text fact on IGN Facts that I used, and I sent it to you so you can use it when you play the game. So that took about 2 nights. And then yesterday I started playing Trine, which is a great game, but a little
downloadable with a platinum.
Right, downloadable with platinum, full roster, lots of silvers, but a little tedious because you have to find all the experience points in every stage to get any trophies. If you were to just play the game straight through, you'd only get a bronze and a gold, and that's it. So you have to do lots of exploration, lots of stuff like that. So yesterday was a little slow. So today I went to the cabinet and I got Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs to raise morale.
Yeah. That's the thing right now is I'm in a very low place right now. I'm not happy with the trophy competition because last night I made the decision to play Terminator Salvation, which, as everyone knows, you beat a level on any difficulty, you get a gold. You beat the game on hard, which is unlocked from the beginning. You get the platinum. Like that would be it. You get one playthrough, get a platinum trophy. That's what I started to do. I even broke out the co-op because that's easier. You get a friend to play with you. You go, and in the middle of it last night, like in the middle of getting killed again and something, I just had the moment of clarity of like, why am I doing this? Why am I waiting? Like, because first off, I started playing Heavy Rain, which I really dig and I want to finish, but I haven't been able to finish because I started playing on Monday, which of course was a giant colossal disaster because I brought home just the PS3 and not a computer. And didn't have the new firmware for my debug. So I had to call Jim Riley, run to his house, download the firmware to a memory stick, run home, install it.
You don't have a computer at home?
Correct, yeah, I only have my work laptop.
That's amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't need it. I got an iPhone. Anyways, and then Tuesday was lost. And then yesterday I just wanted to get some trophies. I didn't want to ruin Heavy Rain for my friend. I was ready to go. I wanted to get this done with. And it was so slow, and it was so slow, and it was just getting killed.
I warned you about that game, dude.
I know you did. I knew what I was getting into, but I thought I was going to make better progress than what I was making. Last night I cleared 3 golds off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's good progress.
I already had the first level because Hillary played a little bit on my debug a long time ago. So I was trying, and it just stalled out. Like those levels, there's like one section that's a level to itself, but not a trophy. It's like you get down from the tower or whatever, and then you have to do this giant walk and like fight all this crap till you get to the subway, and that ends, and that's nothing. There's no
Yeah, that game's bad, and it's a shame too because that's such a great license that they can take advantage of so well. When you think back to the NES and that game Journey of Silius, that Sunsoft game that was supposed to be a Terminator game, that game was so good, Yeah. Just like the Batman game Sunsoft made now, with the exception of Arkham Asylum, they've crapped all over that too. So it's a little disappointing that they haven't used that better. But a good game for golds if you're patient. Which
now,
well, see, if I could crank it down to easy and just go, but then I miss the platinum.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to do that. If I'm putting this time into it, I might as well do it.
I can't wait till next week when you are screaming in rage at the final levels in that game.
Well, see, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna do a little bit here and there. I don't think I'm gonna try to plow through it.
That's probably a good idea.
Going out to dinner tonight. I'm gonna bring Lego Rockman back home. I've already started some of that
I gave you Trivial
stuff.
Pursuit too.
Yeah, I do. Trivial Pursuit I need to do. But like
It's
those
weird
games,
you guys are helping each other.
Oh, well, it's all in good fun.
It's worth sharing.
If it were all good fun, then I would be included.
No, because you're not good
Sam
fun,
has
Sam.
good fun.
You're bad fun, Sam. You are a ruiner. You play so many games all day long. You only show up in the office every 3 months. I don't know how connected you'd be to this.
Oh, good fun. I would have been included.
All right? You missed
I
it.
don't have access access to the cabinet.
Yeah, sure.
You guys
don't-
do.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I see you got a lot of excuses on why you should
There's no
include.
excuses.
Tell you what, maybe
They're not
February
justifications, my friend.
15th will let you in. See, there you go. Handicap on you.
I would be okay with
Anyways, though, for the update before we move on,
8 platinums.
it's important to remember this is a marathon. I think a lot of the younger kids, the Bromleys of this generation, they don't understand that this is a long month. There's lots to do here. But and also I find it ridiculous that Jack updates the scores every day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You guys want to say, Ro?
Yeah, I had a question actually.
Okay.
Is consider this one. So you're playing Heavy Rain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That one I think is fine to use for the competition because it's coming out on the 23rd, so
Yeah.
everybody
Oh,
can
yeah,
have
yeah,
access
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. What about something that comes out in March, let's say, that
God
you
of
can
War.
get ahead of time?
Are we gonna get God of
Are
War
you
ahead of
gonna
time?
be-
Yeah.
We haven't talked
I'm not.
about it.
I'm not saying when certain games are coming in, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is because I don't know if whatever, but I'm saying if you have access to a build that nobody else can
Yeah, yeah,
use.
yeah.
that-
I mean,
I
that's
think,
a good
I, think
question.
I think it's fair game.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be. I mean, as long as the game isn't Platinum is our us or something.
Right.
You play it once, you get a platinum. Hey!
Yeah,
I mean,
God of War-
Platinums are us.
yeah. I won't platinum
I'm gonna
God of
make
War
that
3,
game.
I bet. I mean, there'll be stuff
So
in there.
awesome.
I'm gonna make Platinums R Us.
So what is your
You
score?
just started up.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
rankings
I would
right
sell it
now
50,000
on
copies.
the start of day 4
Okay.
are Colin,
Just call it Trophy Horse.
Scott Bromley, Jack DeVries, Gatch from Database, me, Nicole.
So you're at 5th place.
Yeah, I have 290 right now.
I have 680 according to my count.
Yeah, yeah. And that platinum helps huge. Wow, it's 50 points, right?
60.
For a platinum? 60
Ooh,
points for a
yes.
platinum. Yeah, yeah.
And I'll have another one probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Saturday.
Yeah. Well, see, here's my big stumbling block on why I keep reminding people it's a marathon because I'm gonna look bad for a long time here because this has been a rough week. Got lost. Got dinner tonight. Then tomorrow morning I go to Vegas and don't come back till Super Bowl Sunday. So I lose an entire weekend of being able to sit there like I'd like to and destroy it. Why are you shaking your head?
I don't know. That's bad news.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. Some of my other excuses you're not on board with. Then next weekend's Valentine's Day. Then way
not the
after that,
excuse.
my mom comes into town. It's like,
You gotta get, I told you, you got to get Mom on Spec Ops.
no. Yeah. See, my plan was never to take any time off when my mom's here. So now I think I'm just gonna take sick days before she gets here,
Save,
just a trophy.
Yeah.
Save Lego Rock Band until she comes into town and play with her.
Yeah. That's
There
a
you
bad
go.
one.
Yeah.
call.
Save the
Oh,
easy
man.
co-op
Use the
ones.
visit to your advantage.
You know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Clemens, please.
You know what this is reminding me of?
What's that?
This entire conversation, this you in the pit over Terminator, you saying I'm not going to be in a relationship for a month because of the trophy contest. I remember my moment of clarity where I stood sweating in my apartment about to throw the controller into the TV when trying to platinum Mirror's Edge, one of my favorite games. I'll never forget that. And I just put the controller down and I was like, never again. I will not let an ancillary dumb system that has no relevance on my life ruin one of my favorite games. And I've just been happy
There
ever
you go.
since.
Time trials are not worth it, man.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
You hit rock bottom,
You
and then I watched Fight Club like a month ago. So.
you
I've been
platinumed
watching
you platinumed Alone in the Dark.
And
Yes?
Hannah Montana. That was before my realization.
Right. No, I know. But
Yeah.
where is Alone in the Dark? Because we don't have it in the library. Where is it?
We had a retail copy. I never
You
took it.
Have you tried looking in the dark?
It's probably there.
You turn the
All
lights
lights
off,
out.
it like starts glowing.
That's
Do you
exactly.
have, Sam,
Get the Modern Warfare night vision goggles, and you can find it.
do you have a copy of Alone in the Dark?
I do not.
God, that's the one I want.
Couldn't you
'cause
rent it?
I don't rent games really. No.
Gamefly, dude.
Gamefly. I don't have Gamefly.
That is your secret weapon right there.
Yeah.
Gamefly.
Well, my secret weapon is the friggin' cabinet
The
full of
cabinet,
games.
yeah.
But
Which I would not have access.
yeah, so that's the status of the trophy competition right now. I think it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I already just for craps and giggles,
Poo-poo and giggles. Caca and giggles.
Poo-poo and giggles. I already played games like Ice Age and a bunch of other easy platinum games. So I'm actually kind of after Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah.
You know, some of these games like G-Force and Planet 51, you'd think they would be easy platinums, but
No,
apparently they're
Planet
not.
50, do not play that game,
Yeah.
please. I'm begging you.
Apparently they're not
Not
easy.
worth it.
So like I have to kind of step my game up and go to something else that's going to take like 30 hours as opposed to 10.
Don't play
Go-
White Knight Chronicles.
Here's the thing. Go.
Jesus Christ.
Remember,
man.
remember to reach back to when trophies first came out and look at those. And because you got things like Warhawk, where if you leave the server on for like 3 or 4 hours, you get a gold.
That's true.
That's silver.
Search. Okay, silver, whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
still
but
good call. Yeah.
look back at the,
Yeah, I
at
got
the
it.
early
Yeah,
ones. Don't
yeah.
forget about a couple years ago
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
You're right. You're right.
Go back to the roots.
EA Sports games generally give them out for stupid stuff too without platinuming. I mean, like
What's
make
that
a
one
character
game that
get
just
a
spits
silver.
Oh, Saw.
Yeah, Saw. I played through most of Saw, and I think it's still eligible because I'm only at like 50% or whatever. But like with Dead Space too. But I really want to start games that I haven't played and get them to 100%. I want to do that all month, as opposed to going back and playing games I'm halfway done. Because I think that's the most effective use of my time. As far as like accumulating as many trophies as possible.
Most of them tend to spin them out pretty early on. The bulk of them, I would think.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Now, we were going to talk about something else for topic of the week.
Right.
I think we're going to be getting a little bit long in the show if we hit that. But I think kind of a takeoff of this is sort of what we're going to talk about here is that you guys are mentioning games that normally we wouldn't talk about whatsoever. Cloud with the Chance of Meatballs. I mean, nobody. I don't imagine people would be talking about Saw at this point. Trivial Pursuit. I think you mentioned, or at least it's been going around the office. So my question to I guess the room here is, for people that are going after trophies, there's going to be a small percentage of people, given the overall thing, that are going to be, doing this kind of thing. But you figure going on message boards and mentioning, hey, I just rented this game to get the trophy in it. It wasn't that bad. It kind of brings back the name of the game. Somebody else will be like, oh, yeah, I got a 5-year-old at home. They might like the Chance of Meatballs. I forgot about that. Let me go get it for them. So I'm wondering if, even if the games aren't all that great, if just the fact that they are easy trophies can help kind of keep them around, even in the very, very back part of the conversation, and kind of, bring on a little bit more sales, just a tiny bit more.
I think so. Wasn't there? I don't know if it was a study or some company or someone. Didn't they release a story a few months ago? We had it on IGN about how some games sold like 30 or 40,000 more copies because the achievements were easy.
Some devs were actually saying that if they include easy achievements, then
they sell more copies of their game or whatever.
Makes sense.
So I think it's relevant or whatever. I talk to Mark Ryan about that all the time too. That. And we've talked about it on Beyond plenty of times that, especially with PS2 games probably coming to the PSN soon or whatever, that I really hope they take the time.
No clarification for hopeful.
No, hopeful? Yeah. There was like some rumor or whatever. I really hope they take the time to put trophies in those games. I know they probably won't because they're probably going to be straight ports or whatever, but it's just annoying that they don't do that, because I don't think they realize that. For instance, Final Fantasy VII came out. I'm sure it sold really well as a PlayStation Classic.
Sure.
Imagine how much.
Extremely well.
Imagine even if they could tack on another 50,000 sales because people were like, I played that game already. There's no reason for me to play again. Oh, it has 50 trophies? Okay, I'm going to go buy it. I would have bought it. I can speak for myself and say I would have bought it. I'm not going to buy one PlayStation Classic because I played all of those games, But if they had trophies in it, you better believe I'd play Final Fantasy VII again, as bad as it is.
I knew. I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for you to be like Final Fantasy VII, yeah.
Now, here's an interesting idea, and I don't. This might open up huge security problems with the trophy system and ruin the whole thing, but it would be a major undertaking for somebody to take a PS2 game and go back and add trophies into it, right? Because they'd have to go back and recode it and add all the, whatever. But one thing they could do instead is create the trophy game. Program or whatever, which reads PS2 saves. Assuming that the PS2, if it ever happens, PS2 emulator would actually be PS3 content. It wouldn't kick back to the PS2 stuff, right? Because that stuff would be unprotected. But if you have a native, PS2 games are running natively in PS3 software, let's say. I think you will get what I'm saying here. But then you had this thing that went and could check save games. And so it would be built specifically for each one, but say you had one that would check Metal Gear Solid 3 or add it to the list or whatever. And the thing would go into your save and say, have you finished the game? Did you beat this boss? Whatever. And then so you play the game for 5 or 6 hours and you kick back out and you run that and you check your Metal Gear save and it was like, hey, you did all these things. Here's all these trophies you get for it.
That's a great idea. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen.
That would be really contingent on how the game actually saves the data.
Right. So it wouldn't work for all games, but for some it would, though.
I would like to see more games that we get for review be like Killzone 2, where I could just give myself experience points and level up and get trophies that
was
way.
awesome.
God, that was amazing.
Just hit
Remember
the button.
when you and I would do that?
Yep.
All right, Sam, just sit there for 15 minutes. I'm going to do this.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
Right bumper, left, right.
What was it? What's that side-scrolling shooting game that we had?
Commando.
Oh, yes.
Crash Commando.
Crash Commando.
Yeah, that literally had a button that was it just said give it XP.
Yeah.
And so you could just mash that for about 10 seconds, and all of a sudden it was like bloop, 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 bloop. And still to this day, my trophy list has all the ones for getting like level 50. It has none of the ones for the modes. So it's like, whoops.
Is that game no good?
No, it's very
a ton
good.
of fun, man.
Yeah,
I don't have that one. I'm going to have to Crash Commando.
Get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the trophies are very reasonable in it.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah, you could probably get it within
And Zuma, too.
half a day.
Zuma. You got to play it, but yeah, it's a good.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
All right, let's move on to some reader mail.
Reader mail!
Reader mail! We got some good ones this week, I think.
Quick update: is Greg still in the pit?
I'm doing better.
All right.
Yeah,
good.
I knew
I'm
it.
talking about this Terminator Salvation hate I have inside me.
Get it all out,
It's
man.
very
Get it all out.
therapeutic.
I-
Wait, speaking of trophies and White Knight Chronicle, that was the worst part about the whole experience of playing through it, was that I had to do it on the debug account because the servers weren't up, right? So, and I did it by transferring my save file and my settings, and you can copy them, but you can't load them up.
Yep.
So when it copies them over, it disables trophies. So I played through the entire game and I never got any trophies.
I think Clemens only got 4 anyway, or something like that.
4 bronze for 35 hours.
Now, it's all BS. Like,
yeah,
find
I didn't go out of
100.
my way to like. I didn't look at the trophy list almost at all.
Right.
I
But they're
was
all
just
secret
playing.
anyway.
Yeah, I was just playing for the sake of
That's right,
playing through
babe,
the
yeah.
game, but still.
I know what they are.
4 bronze.
Yeah, I look at too. Get 100 of this item, get 200 of this item.
Yeah. All right, getting on with reader mail.
sorry.
Maisie writes in and says 2 questions here. Says, first off, in Heavy Rain, can you play as only one character throughout the entire story, or does the game force you into playing multiple characters in certain spots? The answer is the latter.
Yes.
The game's broken into, 50, 60, whatever, however many scenes there are, and in each scene you'll play as, it'll go between the 4 main characters.
Which is intentional. That's
it's very
all about the
intentional.
whole narrative.
And you want
style.
that too.
Yeah, you want it the way
You
that
like it.
Yeah, a lot of the most of the characters don't directly interact for at least the bulk of the game anyway. So it's like if you could only choose one of the characters to play as, you would miss 3/4 of the game. Yeah. So that wouldn't really work. Part 2 is the question is, in Infamous 2, do you think that Sucker Punch will take a cue from Mass Effect and Sucker Punch?
Sucker Punch.
I had too much sugar in my coffee, so it's giving me. We'll take a cue from Mass Effect and read the old save of Infamous 1 so that it can expand on the choices made in the first game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think definitely they're gonna. It's such an. I don't know. I really like the idea of being able to take good or bad Cole and bring them right through. I think
That'd be cool.
it's almost obvious to me, but I don't know if they'll actually end up doing it.
Here's the problem that I'm seeing here is if they start making the game, or assuming they already have started, but if they start making the game, and with the intention of saying we want to bring in the save, now that holds back how the story can be told, right? Because now they have to say these events have to happen whether you were good or bad before. You're going to start good or bad in the beginning, and all. It would make more sense to me is if at the end of how they figured out how the story was going to go, if it worked, it would let you do that, right? But I wouldn't want the story to take a hit because they were having to concede for that sort of option there.
Right.
They caught a little bit of flack too for making it such a binary thing.
Yeah.
It was like you had very, very clearly defined moments where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna like flip this guy off and kick him in the nuts or something like that. So it's
Right.
like
I missed that one.
oh yeah, it's like halfway through.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
if
reviewed
they
off
did
the
that
box.
with that in mind, they'd have to come up with like 4 endings, right? So one really good, one really bad, one where you started off good, end up bad, one where you start off bad, end up good, and you have to have 4 story threads for the whole thing. So
Yeah.
Right.
It does get a little
if it
complicated.
is indeed still that cut and dry, that black and white.
But you know what? If they were able to do it with Mass Effect, which is a much more complicated story than Infamous is, with many more threads in it, then I think that it would be possible with Infamous. It would just have to be pretty well thought out, I think. Like you said, so it's not disruptive to the overall narrative or whatever. And it also assumes that Infamous 2 is going to be a direct continuation of Infamous, which I don't necessarily think it would be in this. I don't necessarily think it's going to be in the same place, and I don't necessarily think it's going to have all of the same characters and stuff like that. Obviously, Cole, I think, is going to be in a few of the other guys, but I'm not necessarily sure. It might just be maybe a whole other storyline because Infamous alludes to a governmental conspiracy that we don't really know anything about, so it could go in many different directions, in my opinion. So.
And also a giant catastrophe and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That, without actually spoiling it. That's right. Exactly.
It should just be
B76.
Lost. They should just start on Lost.
Seth writes in, and
Hey, Seth.
he says, now that White Knight Chronicles has been reviewed, and after seeing that it got a very disappointing review score, he was wondering, what game have you guys been most let down by as gamers?
Oh, that one for sure.
Probably White Knight Chronicles.
Most let down by.
Yeah, I
Gotta
don't
think
know
about that.
most.
Superman 64.
Really?
Yeah.
That,
What are you gonna say? Say it. What are you gonna say?
I just remember. I hadn't played it until well after it was out, but you could tell just by looking at that game that was going to be bad.
I remember when they showed the first screenshots in Wizard. I told my friend this is gonna be the game I buy the N64 for, and I did.
And then you realize.
Oh man!
I bought it ahead of time because
I
the
am
game
so
kept getting
sorry.
delayed so many times. I was finally like, well, I'll just buy
Yeah,
it
it
now.
didn't fix. That game's notoriously bad. For all the younger kids out there, that is considered one of the worst games ever
3,
made.
4,
And
and
it is.
IGN.
It is legitimately terrible. So.
It's definitely the worst game on that system. But I don't know. What you have an answer, Rope?
No.
White Knight Chronicles is up there for me.
Yeah, I don't know that I have an answer for this
We'll
one.
have to see if Final Fantasy 13 is up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think about it,
Well, you're not looking forward to it all that much, right?
Not really.
I guess I had high anticipations for Final Fantasy VIII, I really hated when it came out. I was really disappointed in that. And Final Fantasy X was really bad too. By the time I got to 12, which I also hated, I understood that.
So you like
I'm
the odd
sensing a
ones.
pattern here.
I like 6 is one of my favorite games of all time. I love 4 and 5.
2D games, man.
Well,
I
love
don't think
9.
you liked the jump to 3.
I like
because 9 was basically a 3D 2D game.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Well, just in its style.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But recently, I mean, I keep my expectations low when possible because I think you're pleasantly surprised. Like White Knight Chronicles, I kind of had the feeling. First of all, that game's been out for a long time in Japan, and word out of Japan was the game wasn't good.
Right.
You know, so everyone knew like that it was gonna be a mediocre game, whatever. I don't think it's terrible. But Ryan and I were talking.
Terrible.
Ryan and I were talking. No, I know. But Ryan and I were talking about it before we reviewed it, and I think Ryan kind of hit the nail on the head that I just haven't played a game like that in so long that it's kind of novel in a way, you know, because they're not flooding the system with them like PlayStation was flooded with games like that, and even PS2 especially. Yeah. So we don't really play games like that too much anymore, and so I think that's what made it a little more novel.
Right.
And people were, I think, hoping for it to be sort of just something to tide them over until FF13 hit.
Right.
And stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's gonna be disappointing too.
I would say more often than not, so I remember being as a kid, I would look at boxes and look at magazines and stuff like that and say this game's gonna be awesome, and then I would get it and it would suck, right? Yeah. I think that now most of the time the opposite is true. Being that we see games so early and we've seen so many games that we know to be skeptical a lot of times, is that I think it's more that it exceeds our expectations rather than the other way around.
Right.
Right.
Like Arkham Asylum, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good example of that.
I knew when I saw that game at GDC, last year, I guess, that it was going to be really, really good. Playing around with the combat and stuff, I'm like, even if it's just this, it's going to be great. And then it happened to have all the awesome little kind of Metrovania touches to it. And man, that game's so freaking good.
Yeah, it is.
El Rojo 31. I think that means the red.
Yeah.
The red 31. Writes in and says, "What's going on with DC Universe Online? Has it been canceled?" Oops.
No, they're still announcing characters for it. They just announced Santana, so yeah, it's still coming.
Yeah.
They've never given a firm release date. They always say when it's done. So
it's an MMO, so they always take forever. Jared writes in. Here's a good one I actually did research for. Look at me.
Is this the Subway guy?
Huh?
Is this the Subway guy?
Yep. No. I mean, it could be. He doesn't say Jared from Subway.
Jared Subway.
I guess his name is only Jared. Maybe it is. Anyway, so
I am Jared.
He's
like levitating above Subway.
So he has two questions here. First one, he wants to know that he has a 20 gig launch system that has PS2 backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
he wants to know that
But no Wi-Fi.
if they, that's the second part of his question.
No card reader.
That's the part that I did research on. The first part is if they release PS2 backwards compatibility for all systems. He wants to know, and we have no answer for this, but he wants to know is if it would override his old stuff or if he could choose or whatever. I think that if they release it, it's going to do HD scaling, all that kind of stuff, and so you're going to want to use the software anyway. I don't see why you'd have a reason to use the hardware one unless it wasn't fully supported for all games.
And even if it was, I think just for the sake of keeping it level, they probably would turn it on all systems.
Yeah, and I think that if they do it, it's going to not play discs. I think you're going to have to download them because I think they're going to want the loot for it.
That could be the real separator right there. Is if you put the disc in, it could use the hardware if you wanted it to. If you downloaded the stuff from the store, those are separate little encapsulated emulated files.
Right.
So.
The second part is that since he has the 20 gig system, as Sam just mentioned, it has no Wi-Fi. But he's got the thing down in his basement or whatever, and he wants to know if he can get his system to be wireless. And this is actually a good question for a lot of different systems. Like if you have the 360, you don't want to pay $100 for the wireless adapter, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not that my options here are going to save you a lot of money, but he wanted to know if there's a way to, instead of running the cable, get his system to be wireless.
Yeah, you just use a bridge.
Yeah, so the two things that I found, you can find other options for this thing, you have two different ways to do this. One is you can use just a wireless, basically bridge, like Sam's saying. Both of these, by the way, connect into Ethernet. I don't know if there's a USB option for this, but so the one thing would be
if it's USB, then it's going to need a driver, and
which
the PS3
probably
is not
would
going to.
not.
They're not going to have a PS3.
So it's highly unlikely that would work. But one of them would just be to basically get a wireless bridge for it, like Sam's saying, where it's a little box and it plugs into the Ethernet port, and so your PS3 thinks that it's wired, and then that thing is wireless itself, the little box, and that talks to your router upstairs or whatever it is. The other option is, and this I guess could work even if you don't have wireless anywhere, is using one of the and for the Ethernet bridge one, the one that I found is called the Linksys dual band wireless N gaming adapter. I'm sure there's many more, but if you look that up, then you can see an example of one. The other kind that you could get is a people are making those network things through the wall plugs in your house.
Have one of those.
You do?
Yeah.
Does it work well?
Yeah. I mean, it's not as fast as you would get like a wired or like a close range wireless connection, but it's impressive. If you get a certain kind, though, I think we had to get the gaming one, the one that is supposed to be faster speeds. We were running speed tests in our apartment, and we found that actually did run, I think, faster.
Okay.
Provide a better connection.
So the way that those things work is you have Ethernet jack, same as before, but it plugs into a device that goes into your wall.
Like an actual electric wall.
Yeah, it's like an electrical plug, and then that uses your power in your house to transfer the signal. And then on the other end of the thing, you put the other box, and that connects to your it's either wireless or maybe you can get one that's connected to your thing. The one that I found for that, I don't know if it's going to be what Ryan was talking about, was the Netgear Power AV Ethernet Adapter Kit.
I think that
XAVB101.
Whoa.
Anyway,
that might be it.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's an example of that. So you could go look that up and see kind of what I'm talking about, and then do actual product research.
We were amazed that it actually worked
because we had those principles are really sound.
In my apartment, we were just completely desperate and running out of ideas for a stable internet.
These things would be actually good though if not just for gaming too. Like I was saying, a lot of if you have a standalone Blu-ray player, say in your basement or whatever, and it doesn't have Wi-Fi, because I don't think really many of them do.
No.
You could, if you needed to, you could use one of these solutions for that sort of thing as well.
The only catch is, and you mentioned this before too, that the PS3 still thinks it's wired. So it's something where if you wanted to connect your PSP to the thing for ad hoc party or something like that, it's not going to work. It's not that won't actually go through. It'll still think it's wired, so you can't communicate directly to the device. You just be wireless, as opposed to having, you know what I'm saying?
I think actually it would allow ad hoc party to work, wouldn't it? Because you'd still have
that connects to the actual transmitter in the PS3. So, and you wouldn't be able to sync. You wouldn't be able to do remote play. Well, actually, you would. Okay, remote play you could do if you connected through your local network.
Right.
But ad hoc party connects directly to the Wi-Fi in the system, as far as I know.
Right, but when you use ad hoc party, your PS3 has to be plugged in. It has to be wired, so that you can use the Wi-Fi connects only to your PSP. So I think you actually would be able to. Anyway, there might be some hurdles to that, but for general online play, that would work for you. Ryan writes in, possibly Clements.
Yep.
Ryan, tell me if this is your question.
Clement, I'm ready.
He basically is looking at 3 different games.
Okay.
He wants to know which one to get: BioShock 2, Alien vs. Predator, or Dante's Inferno.
Oh, yeah, this is totally me.
Yeah.
Those are all games that I want.
Okay, here's what we know. Dante's Inferno, it's a very polished, very much like God of War game, but not quite on the same level. But if you want to play more God of War and can't wait until March 16th, then go ahead and...
Poor man's God of War.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still good.
7.5 according to Jeff Haynes.
BioShock 2, our review is not up yet. I don't know if we can say when it's going up, but it'll be up reasonably soon. What I can say, because I don't think they're going to care, is that Charles likes it a lot. So that would definitely be a good pick.
I've seen it in action. I'm excited for it. I want to play it next week.
Yeah.
That'll turn my trophy hunt.
Alien vs. Predator has a lot of potential to be great online, but I don't know how that is. Colin's writing something down, but that's a question mark for me. I don't know how that's going to.
I saw it in action at a New York City preview event that one I went to months ago or whatever, and it didn't look that impressive to me.
Okay.
It sucks because Rebellion, it could go either way.
Right.
They developed the original one. Or actually, I guess that was Rebellion and Monolith on the PC, and it was awesome. And since then, their track record's been kind of spotty. I really, really liked Rogue Warrior, I think, or is that what it was?
Rogue Warrior was the no.
Not the Bethesda one. No.
It was awesome.
No. I think I'm pretty sure it's what it was called.
Oh wait, are you talking about the game?
Rogue Trooper.
Rogue Trooper. Yeah. Where we like the zombie dude or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The blue dude. That was actually a lot of fun, and that was probably the last game they played that they did a really good job on.
Yeah. Anyway, out of this list, your most solid bet, if you need to go ahead of time, is BioShock. But I would wait till all 3 are out if you're tight on cash. Jose writes in and he says back at GDC last year, I think it was GDC, was on live announced its a gaming thing where cloud gaming system where basically it just streams video of the game you're playing to your computer, and then you use your computer, and then it shoots the stuff back up. Anyway, so they have servers. So basically, the thing is you could play like Crysis on a netbook, right? Because your computer's not doing anything except for receiving video and sending back the signal. All the actual rendering is done on the server. They want to know what the hell's still going on with it. It's still
in
happening.
Beta.
Yeah,
it's in beta right now. People are actually playing it. They are talking about it a little bit. So apparently, like really high frame rate, really twitchy kind of games are still a little bit rough. There's definitely lag in that stuff, and then you can't change any of the graphical settings.
Right.
So it's very much locked as to what you can do, but it's working. People are playing.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see here. Billy says, when can we expect a review for Heavy Rain? Hopefully, or early, hopefully. I don't know if we can say when the review's going up, but
I don't think there's any problem with that.
Well, probably not. But anyway,
next week.
Sure.
Next
okay,
week.
but whatever. Way before the game comes out, we'll say.
All right.
You have plenty of time. We're not really supposed to talk about it yet, but I will say go ahead and pre-order the game.
Yeah.
You're very good to pre-order that game.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about that next week. Black Mantle says, do you hope that developers in the future will more... Okay, I don't really understand. And he's saying,
questions are classic today.
I think there's one word out of place that it prevents me from
I
doing
hope
this very well.
developers in the future drive hover cars.
That would actually be good because that means I can also drive a hover car. He wants to know. He wants to know if people should try to do what Mag did with 256 players online, or maybe stick to like 32, or even go to 64.
Here's the thing. What Mag does really well is keeps people focused, and it does so in a way that's kind of cordoned off. Even though you're playing alongside with a bunch of other people, for the most part, you are playing your own little pocket game within the larger scope of things.
Right.
And Insomniac kind of went through this too when they're developing Resistance 2.
Yeah,
and,
which I was about to say because they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, and that was also they basically assigned people objectives and they gave them a clear goal. So if someone else does that, they need to do it in a way where you have an objective. If you don't, this was one of the cooler parts of GDC last year. Insomniac actually talked about this. They had what they called the giant ball of death, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Where everybody will just group together and try and kill each other, and so people will spawn and they will immediately run toward wherever the conflict is. They won't hang back. It's just some sort of weird thing that happens when you get over a certain number of players.
Right.
So there's got to be clear objectives if you do that. And if you do, then you have to differentiate between like Resistance 2 or Mag and make your game your own game. So, I mean, we're already seeing it right now with Mag. If you don't play it the way that Zipper intended it, it sucks. It's really, 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 really hard to get into that game if you aren't playing it with a squad. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have a headset. You just end up running around and dying a lot. So, something with that kind of scale, I think, needs to be focused and directed. Otherwise, it's just going to be chaos.
Yeah.
You can't do like a Call of Duty, I don't think, with that many players as a free-for-all.
But the absolute thing here, and what you're basically saying, is that if you do not just put 256 players in a game just to do it, you have to make the game focused on that fact and break them up and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you just say we're gonna patch our game to increase the number from 32 to 256, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
The last question that I have here comes from Derek, and he says, why is it that certain games, even recently, do not actually support 1080p? Why are a lot of games still 720?
Technical overhead. It costs a lot of horsepower to do 1080p stuff at full speed. A lot of the games that are actually purported to be 1080p are either upscaled or are very simple in design.
Yeah, it's totally it takes more rendering to draw those extra pixels and light them all and stuff like that. So it's a trade-off of, do you want the resolution or do you want more detail in the 720 frame? Or
I would suggest that the person that wrote that in go and find a picture of just resolutions. You can find like a small little thing. It'll show you bounding boxes for how big a thing is. Look at the difference in amount of area between 720p and 1080p, and just imagine it's not a direct correlation, but imagine it takes that much more horsepower to do that frame versus 720p. It's huge. I mean, the box is, when you go from 720p to 1080p, it's a lot bigger than you would think. Given the numbers,
the difference in the amount of processing horsepower that it takes to do that is not worth the difference in visuals that you get from it. Is basically what it is.
Exactly.
It's great when they can do it, but it's not worth the trade-off, generally speaking. All right, that's the end of Reader Mail that I got here.
Reader Mail complete.
Ryan.
Yeah.
What do we got? So you got some printouts.
I got some printouts. What would you like first?
Whatever. Surprise me. I'm going to close my eyes even so I can't see what it is.
Well, I do love... we're at tournament winners right now.
Great.
I do... Great.
What year is this? How long have I been asleep?
I do love the guys on the PS3 lobby. I didn't get a message from B786 or Smokey90, who are the two guys who have taken it upon themselves to report to me about their community challenges. So I posted on the boards, and I was like, hey guys, we're about to record the podcast. Anybody... Are you doing your laser chair again?
Nope.
Sam loves his laser chair.
I do. It's fun.
I posted on the boards. I'm like, hey, did you guys compete last night? Because we're about to record the podcast. And basically, they did not have a game, so we technically don't have a winner. However, one of the immediate responses I got was, no, we did not, sorry. But if you want to announce my name, you can. So, Kai Lodi, or Kai Lote, however you'd like to say it. Congrats! You posted on my thread. Yes. Now, shall I move on to PSN hit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Facebook hit from Jordan. Jordan apparently went through some bad personal issues recently. Doesn't want to be a sob story. Just wants to sit at home and play some PlayStation games to feel better. I'm down for that.
In and of
His
itself,
PSN name is Compton space ass underscore 1995. Compton ass underscore 1995. That's his PSN name. That's
He was
Jordan.
born in 1995.
Probably not.
I don't want to think about that.
I would hope not. Yeah.
Because seems like a
He'd be like 15,
Yeah.
14 or 15.
If you're 15, you're going to want to make a name called Compton Ass.
All right, Ryan.
Anyway,
Great. Do we have anything to mention otherwise? I'll get on to the housekeeping. Anyway, a lot of people think about that. If you have
no.
not rated us on iTunes, go ahead and go do that. Everybody's on Twitter. You can just look for us. And, you can follow us. IGN Comms for that. If you want to send us reader mail or whatever the hell else, just email it to beyond@ign.com.
I got send harassing PSN messages to Game Over Greggy, so he is distracted while going after trophies.
Yes.
I think obviously Colin
Do that
Moriarty
anyway.
is it dash?
Yeah, Moriarty-IGN.
is a better way to go.
Yeah, you can harass me too. That's fine.
or find me on Facebook. Still accepting friend requests.
Yeah.
All right, or do that.
All right, there we go. That's the end of the show.
Yay.
Ryan, you're going to add a song in after this thing?
Nope, I got it right here.
See, now, wait a minute. Wasn't it recently when I was asking you about it, you say, I was going to add it in afterwards. Now the show's going to be weird. Now you have it with you, which is why I ask about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So now, all right. You're,
I don't know what's going
the whole
on
flow
anymore.
of the show
I don't know
is
what
like
to tell
starting
ya.
to ripple.
The whole
and
don't know
world
what
has
to tell
gone
ya.
crazy.
Anyway.
Up is down, left is purple.
Will Jackson contacted me on Facebook. What was that? That sounded like Tom Clancy's
Night vision goggles.
Night vision goggles.
I was me putting him on to watch Will Jackson get down.
Will
He's boogieing on the
Jackson
front lawn.
contacted me on Facebook. He says, hey, Ryan, if you need some eclectic music for the end of Beyond, here's a song I made up. If not, that's cool, but you might like it anyways. Keep writing reviews. Thank you, Will.
Keep working to get paid.
Will, thank you very much for the message, and also thank you for the tune. It's just a nice...
Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately, I will not play it.
Yeah.
No, I liked it. It is called Graper Melon Slurpees, which I think is an awesome,
Yes.
name. He didn't say how other people can listen to his music. I guess try and Google him. It seemed like it was from his own album called October Renaissance, all one word. But yeah, I don't know. Will, hopefully, if you want me to give you a shout out at some other point, just write me.
Is that one R or two R's?
I'm sorry? Oh, I think it was only one in October Renaissance. Yeah. But yeah, Graper Melon Slurpees. Let's listen as Greg hangs like an Elcor or whatever.
Angry reply.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Enthusiastic yell.